I'd like to say Dvar Torah in English, in parshas Eikev, this week Seder says before Sheni, Hishomelecho. After Sheni says, Hishomelecho pen tishkach et Hashem elekecho. Someone will forget HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Before Sheni it says, B'chalto v'savoto v'rachta es Hashem elekecho al ha'oretz ha'toivo asher nosan loch. A person, he eats and he's satisfied, and he benches HaKadosh Baruch Hu al ha'oretz ha'toivo asher nosan loch. Next pasuk says, Yishom alecho pen tishkach. What do you mean pen tishkach? He just said thank you to Hashem. So it's written in all this for him on this week's Seder. The person benches HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do you bench HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You have HaKadosh Baruch Hu in mind, or you don't have HaKadosh Baruch Hu in mind. You just go through the parshas Hamazon when your mind is in 1,000 other places. You can't remember if you benched, if you didn't bench, like people forget if they said Asher Yotza, they didn't say Asher Yotza. They can only forget it if they didn't say it inside. Sounds makvi to say Asher Yotza inside, then he'll never forget it. If someone knows what he says, if someone remembers what he says, if someone's with it all the way till the end, then he knows if he said Asher Yotza or not. He knows if he said parshas Hamazon or not. In this matzav, where we see a person needs parnasa, says the Eikev, Hilchas parshas Hamazon siman kuf pei hey, if someone wants to have parnasa, kol mi shebeirach parshas Hamazon bekavono, if someone says parshas Hamazon bekavono, ein shoylet boy loy af v'loy ketzef. There'll be no curse on this person and no ketzef at all. V'chein, that's what he brings down over here. And his mezoinoisov is mitzuyin loy berevach. He has mezonis berevach over kovoid kol yomov. He brings down the name of the Sefer Chinuch. And the medaktek should say parshas Hamazon through a birchoin, through a sefer. He shouldn't say it by heart. And he brings down in the name of Sefer Hasidim, myself, a person which died, and he came to his friend in the Chaloim, to his relations, and he said each day they had done in him upstairs, they judged him why he didn't say Bochas, the Kavono. We see it's Yedua, in the name of the Arizal, which brings down Yochanan Kohen Gadol, after 80 years of being in the Beis HaMikdash, he became a tzduki. How did Yochanan Kohen Gadol become a tzduki? 80 years he went in Kodesh HaKadoshim. 80 years he went lifnai v'lifnim. 80 years he was makti the Torah and he came out alive. He came out alive. The other 300 Kohenim every year died. Yochanan Kohen Gadol is Shimon HaTzadik. Shimon HaTzadik was a Kohen Gadol for 40 years. Yochanan Kohen Gadol was a Kohen Gadol for 80 years. How after 80 years did he go off the way? It's a very hard question to ask. And the answer is, brings an Rabbeinu Arizal. Sometimes a person can eat something and straight after he eats something, he goes off. He can pitom means he goes straight off the Yadut and he goes off completely. Why? Because on each tree, what a person eats, each vegetable, there could be megulgal, a nefesh of someone from the last generation, which is in the apple. This apple comes to the house of Mrs. So-and-so, or comes to the house of Rabbi so-and-so, or any Fum family, any Yiddish family. It could have fallen into the house of George, but it comes to the house, who's the goy, but it comes to the house of this and this Yid, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, or so Rivka, Rochel, Veleo, that this person should be mistaken the fruit. He should say a boch on it. What happens if a person doesn't say a boch on the fruit? Or Rabbi Yonasim Eivish brings down even more. What happens if a person does say a boch on the fruit or the vegetable, but the fruit or the vegetable comes from money which is stolen, or the person doesn't pay for it, or the person steals, or the person says he'll pay and he didn't pay, or the person comes from money which is nishket emestika money, comes from money which is money, it's not kosher money, if you know what I mean. Then a germ goes on this, like a chaydak, goes on this fruit, and the person eats it. And instead of the person being mesaken the nefesh in the fruit, the nefesh within the fruit or the vegetable goes back to the person eating it, and it takes him down from his Yiddishkeit. We eat everything. We want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be with us. Ki hakol moitze pi Hashem yichye adam. Lo ele lechem levad yichye adam. A person eats something, of course, his body lives. But how does his neshama live? How did his nefesh live? Through the brachos, a person says on what he eats. We say brachos b'kavanah. We say brachos, we understand who we are benching to. We listen, we go word for word. We say shahako 10 times a day. We say boy nefoshoitz. We say ashiotza. We say azones oilom. With the brichas hamozoin. We thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you very much, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for looking after me, for giving me food, bread, and looking after my family. I'm so thankful to you. I want to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you thank me. How much you thank me. I can understand how much you thank me. Then of course I'll give you parnasa berevach. You'll be helped in everything you need. And if someone forgets about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he forgets about him. What do you mean he forgets about him? He doesn't remember that he benched HaKadosh Baruch Hu even. He can come to a matzav of gaiva. If he forgets HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then comes possibly Yutetz in our parsha. He can even go off the way of Yiddishkeit completely. It all depends how you would say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he looks after you. That's what we see. One of the things we see in parshas Eikev on the beginning of the parsha.